We'll take questions. Please raise your hands. Start with Emily.
Woody, with the news of the top two picks signing, or Jack Leiter signing the press conference, all that today, what kind of, I guess, excitement does that give you as far as the future of this organization is concerned?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. It's super exciting. Just getting to know this kid, hearing him speak. Obviously, you guys all heard it in his press conference. The talent that this kid has. I think we've done a really good job, especially the last couple of years, of bringing in guys like that. And to add him with what he's capable of, and you just watch him carry himself. The way he carries himself around the ballpark. With so much going on. He never loses composure, and then that's why you see him, in big games. He keeps the focus and able to execute and pitch, and it's exciting, man. It's really exciting, and I couldn't be happier for bringing him on board and getting to know the family, getting to know him. It's an exciting time for sure.
With so much talk surrounding Joey and the trade deadline, what have you seen from Kyle and Ian, a couple of the other guys who are getting a lot of, I guess, attention in that regard?
Yeah, those guys are pretty amazing in how they handle it. This is my third year in dealing with it as a manager. I've been around obviously a long time as a coach and as a player. Just talking to teammates about it and seeing their reaction and seeing these two guys, it affects them. And maybe it did affect Gibby in his last couple, but the way Gibby pitched the other day, after having 4 walks, this guy is just the conversations I've had with him and Ian about it. Ian's so, I wouldn't say ho-hum about it. He's definitely, he's like, yeah, I want to stay here, obviously, but if I happen to get traded to a winning team and a team that has a chance to win a World Series, it's pretty exciting to think about just the way they compartmentalize all of that while still being a part of this team and not, I guess, insulating themselves. And they're still great teammates. They're still talking the game with all of our guys. They're still doing everything they need to do to make us better every day that they're here. Speaks volumes of who they are.
Thanks, Woody.
Jeff.
How much different is the mood today based on just one victory last night?
It is better. There's no question. It's a little bit of relief. Nobody likes losing 12 in a row or any in a row for that matter. So it is a little bit of relief. We know we have obviously a lot of work to do, and obviously we got to prepare for today's game as if we haven't won anything. But it'd be nice to have back-to-back games where we go out and not only win but execute and play well.
Yeah, and I guess you win, and it's a big day for the organization. The trade deadline and all the changes are there. It's kind of quite a dichotomy. Can you sense?
There's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Listen, we know that as long as if you've been around the game at all, that even a guy you love dearly, gets traded, life moves on, unfortunately, and we're all kind of prepared for that if something happens, and most likely it will with somebody, and we'll have to move on. It's an opportunity. One man's exit is another man's opportunity. So it's. We got, like I said, we got to focus on winning a game today, playing well today, doing everything we can to beat the Diamondbacks. That's all we can do. Outside of that, I'm sure there's going to be lots of conversations between the players and, okay, who's going to get traded, who's reading what, who's on Twitter. Obviously I follow it from a different angle, but it is what it is, and we're going to have to take it as it comes.
Okay, thanks.
Evan.
So you spoke with Leiter too. What did you get from your conversation with him? Because I think you started to allude to that last night, but didn't.
With as far as
you just mentioned Dunning reminding you of Leiter a little bit.
Yeah, no, they are similar, very very similar. Just the way their mind works and their desire to be great at this game. Their desire to understand a lot of what they do and how they do it, from all aspects, the mental side, the physical side, just always trying to improve. And I think that that kind of stood out to me when I talked to Jack. just, and I think the composure, just who this kid is, the humility that this kid just, you talk to him, he speaks with ease. He's not trying to impress you. He's just trying to be who he is. There's a genuineness to him, authentic, nature to him, which I really, really appreciate. And he's going to give himself the best chance to be the best pitcher he can be, which, obviously we see a very, very high ceiling.
The plan is, the way it was described was he'd go back to Vandy this fall, then he'd work out with Vanderbilt and with their program and be in contact with your guys. It's an unusual circumstance, but given what you know about the Vanderbilt program, how good do you feel like how good hands do you feel like he'll be in?
Yeah, he's in really good hands. Obviously, they do a great job there. They've had a lot of success with a lot of, obviously, not just professionals, but like everybody that goes into their, program. So, obviously, we're going to keep communicating with Jack and figure out the best way moving forward. And if that's what obviously we come up with, and he comes up with, and he's comfortable with, and we're all comfortable with, obviously, I would support that for sure.
Hey, has your head been swimming the last couple of days? I mean, I know we talked about the losing streak ad nauseum, but like you just said a minute ago, there's a lot going on. And I know that it's not your job to sign contracts or make trades, but do you feel like your head's been swimming just a little bit?
No, not necessarily, because it's always something. Obviously I signed up for that, so it's actually kind of exciting. For me, it's I don't want to lose any players, but there is some excitement to if we do make a trade. Who are these guys? What do they look like? What are they going to add to our organization? If we have a chance to add some really high quality pieces that we're going to have for a while, it's pretty exciting. So I don't obviously scout and dig into all these players that we're looking at in every organization, but that and with the losing, I think I'm always trying to think of something to get our guys back on track. And I know we're young, and there's certain things that we have to do with a young team that maybe you have a more experienced team they do on their own. But that's all part of it. I love every minute of it, the good and the bad, and I think that I don't think it's overwhelming at all. I don't think it's head spinning or it's head swimming. I just there's a lot to think about and a lot to do right now, which is all what we signed up for.
Chris.
I know we've asked you several times about guys like Taylor and John King who can be stretched out and start if you need it. On the other side of that, in case a guy like Ian Kennedy gets moved, do you have any names in mind for who could potentially take over like a ninth inning role or high leverage innings in case a guy like him were to go?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the guys who have maybe done it. You look at Joely. I think Brett Martin falls in that category. The way he executes, is funny. The guys asked me, Levi asked me, I think about Joe Barlow last night, and there's a reason why I put him in that spot. You look at the composure and ability to do it, who you can trust. So there's obviously a few names there. Patton obviously has pitched really well. He's been pitching high leverage for us. The other guys are going to have to earn it. I don't think if Kennedy gets traded, we're going to say, okay, you're the closer. I think it's going to be more of, I want to make sure we're putting in guys in the best position possible to succeed. And, if there's parts of the lineup that are better suited for Patton, we're going to obviously work our way around that and pitch him in that spot. If it's Joely, if it's Brett Martin, if it's Joe Barlow, if it's DeMarcus starts throwing the ball really well, who knows? There's obviously some options down there. And Spores has been, good at times in those roles, and we just want to see consistency. But I think it would be more like, I hate to use the word, but like a closer by committee, if Kennedy goes.
Mentioned DeMarcus, what have you seen, not just on the mound, but even off the mound in the clubhouse, and just what have you seen from him since he came back to AAA?
A lot better. I think his mindset was better. I felt like when we sent him down, he could have handled it a little bit better. He was frustrated, but obviously we told him exactly what we need to see and why. How he's going to pitch well here. He can't just live off the fastball. He's got to be able to mix his other pitches in, and he did that. And when he went AAA, he was in obviously in a good mental state of mind. right now, I think what Joe Barlow's done has really helped DeMarcus, because they're pretty tight and they came up together. Just seeing Joe's a different guy than he was 2 years ago. I mean, he's completely changed his demeanor, his life really, in a lot of ways, and he's so much better for it. He's a lot more composed. So I think that really helps DeMarcus out to see the growth that Joe has had to get to where he is. But they both have a long way to go. It's just a little bit of taste of success. They haven't got it all figured out by any means, but it's a good start.
Alex.
Woody, in comparison to this time in 2019 and then late August of last year, is the vibe in the clubhouse any different? Is it more positive, about the same?
It's as positive as it possibly could be. And like I said last night, I know we're not winning games, and that's the ultimate goal, is to win. Everything we do revolves around winning. And, every bit of our processes, anything we talk about with the bat quality, with pitching, everything, it all revolves around giving us the best chance to win. So when we're not winning, clearly there's going to be a little bit of lack of, positivity. But overall, it's as tight a group as I've been around. They've maintained that through the thick and thin, which I'm really proud of these guys for doing. But right now it's good. Obviously, with winning, we would obviously be a lot better, but as good as we possibly can be for the circumstances.
Okay, let's go to Kennedy.
Chris, I was just curious if you had an update on John Kane medically.
He threw a bullpen yesterday. I think all fastballs 20, and he said normal. He said he was able to let it go. I think in a couple of days he's going to throw a bullpen with all of his pitches. He's going to spin some balls and throw some changeups, but he said he felt as close to normal as possible. That's the first time he's been able to kind of really let it go, and he felt great. So I don't know how many more bullpens and maybe obviously some live BPs before he gets to face some hitters, and some real game action. But we're getting close. I don't know exactly the timeline, but he feels really good right now. Feels really strong.
Other questions? All good? Okay. Field opens at 3:45. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Eric
guys.
he'll come on after. Thanks.